questions?
Ready to roll.
Fire away.
It's the end of the year, so obviously, it is what it is. How do you treat these last two games and a potential bowl game? Kind of knowing this is what we've got the offensive line issues, health. How do you go into these last two games?
It's just college football, man. You have who you have, and you got to figure out a way to go beat theirs with whatever we have. And yeah, it's wild. It's already kind of getting down to it. It's always crazy and just how fast seasons go. But just excited about our opportunity to go play and go finish the way we want to, and certainly excited about this final home game and for these seniors and just what they've meant to this program, what they've meant to me, and just really excited to go out there Saturday with them and on such a special day and being Military Appreciation Day as well. So it's a special time always at Clemson and Death Valley, but certainly for those two things, it's a pretty special day and just event that is really unlike a lot of places in the country. So never going to take that for granted.
How much have you had to adjust, either simplifying scheme or changing things because you have so many different rotating pieces on the offensive line, or do you have so much faith in those guys that you can run kind of the same?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, probably not having to simplify as much for them. I think just schematically what we do, I feel like all those guys can handle what we ask them to do. You're always going to be trying to be mindful as coaches of maybe what you feel best about, but in terms of implementing and the installation and the schematic part of it, we're going to trust those guys to get it done. In the box at tight end as well. Those guys are a big part of a lot of our run games, so haven't had to adjust too much with that.
When you look at Gideon Davidson, just the development from the last time we spoke with you, just as a pass protector as well, just where have you seen him grow?
Yeah, I mean, just really doing it in games. It's certainly been great to see. I know it's going to give him a lot of confidence of actually executing some of those blocks. I remember he had a great one early on, kind of his early reps in the Duke game, and against a really good player up there. So I just think him actually doing it in game and now gaining the confidence just with what that requires and what all that entails, and really it all, for Adam too, but certainly with Gideon, I think that's been a huge positive for him on top of his skill set. So it's been great.
As Coach Sweeney was saying yesterday, one of the disappointments of the season is just not consistently establishing the run game. I mean, how much is that the case for you as well? And do you feel like you've been able to work that in better?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to. I mean, we're a pretty balanced attack in terms of run pass, and have been that way really my whole time here. But yeah, I think the more effective that is, it's going to make everything better. It's going to make the quarterback's life easier. It's always going to help and improve your pass game, I feel like, too. And we just got to keep finding ways to make that effective for us. And so I was proud of us after kind of a slow start in the run game part of it a week ago. Was able to really kind of stay with it and grind away, and ended up, Adam being the difference for us offensively in that game was great to see us kind of go through that, within a 4-quarter situation. So I was proud of that.
I think Coach Sweeney also mentioned, the third down issues that you guys have had this season. What has been, the main theme for those issues for you guys from not being able to convert in those situations?
I think the big picture of it is always going to come down to execution. Just look at example for the Louisville game. I mean, in the first half, we really should have been, 4 out of 7 there starting the game, and all of a sudden it looks a lot differently for the totality of the game on third down if you do that. So we know we missed some things that were there. There's always a couple calls that you want back or wish you had something different, but I think for the most part of it, staying aggressive and getting things that are high percentage to get your playmakers the ball is always going to be kind of the key on third downs for really any coach. Kind of upping your percentages of putting the ball in play and converting. So you got to continue to find ways to just press on and be better at that for sure down here towards the stretch of our season.
Obviously, Cade had struggles early in the year. Seems like he's playing better now. I mean, what have you kind of learned about Cade just through those struggles to kind of come out the other side of it in terms of the person, the player he is?
Yeah, I mean, I think a I think more than anything, just, you know, you gotta coach it and learn from it and all that, but I think you also just gotta understand, hey dude, like, you're gonna have some bad plays, and we all are. I mean, every position is, and you just gotta stay with it. I think that's kind of the thing I've learned of being with Cade is, hey dude, let's just stay the course here. Let's push through. Let's get over it. Let's have a short-term memory. You know, and I think if you do that, you'll just continue to grow and make plays, which is what he's done. So I think just through all the ups and downs and adversity, whatever, for his whole career, I mean, that dude has got a lot of mental toughness and belief in himself, and that's what's great to see, especially at that position, is just a person that can truly move on, forget about it, and stay the course, and find a way to go execute later on. So that's definitely one of his strengths. I'm proud of him that way for sure.
Senior day for Cade this Saturday. Just what has he meant to you, just as a player and as a person over these past 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, I love him. I mean, I really do. He's like I said, just a mentally tough guy that we've gone through it together with, you know. So I mean, there's a lot of common ground, as we all know, from the same state, kind of grew up the same way in terms of just high school football in Texas, and so there's a lot of commonality. But you know, just anytime you're with someone and going through the ups and downs together and trying to mentor him and guide him, there's going to be connection, you know, and there certainly is with him, and you know, he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be successful no matter what he does in the future, and our relationship will be a long-lasting one, no doubt about it. So I'm sure it'll be a little bit of a surreal moment for me as well, just kind of seeing him, you know, for the final time in Death Valley for sure, you know, in New Jersey.
What's one of the biggest things that you've been able to kind of implement and teach Cade throughout your time with him, working with him?
It's a great question. You need to ask him that. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like probably just a steady personality, a steady presence for him, you know, through the highs and the lows has probably been good for him, is what I would say. You know, and I think you'd probably echo the same thing. So I just think that consistency of somebody that's going to be there to teach him and pick him up or whatever, I think that's probably, you know, hopefully something that he's felt, you know, along the way.
Larry or Chapel, any questions virtually?
Yeah. Hey, Garrett. This is Chapel with the state. The Peter Woods jumbo package was effective early, not as much recently. What has caused that specific play call, you think, to struggle? I know against Louisville and then against, I think it was SMU or Duke as well.
Yeah, it's you know, the one the other night felt like we had kind of exactly what we wanted. The bad part was we were late off the football, which caused some issues there, you know, on that drive down there at the goal line. And it's been productive for us. It's been good all season, and got a lot of trust in those guys to do that. We just didn't get it done there. But really like Peter getting the football in short yardage situations is like I said, it's been a good deal for us most of the year, and felt like we had exactly what we wanted the other night. Just a little late off the ball, and that's kind of what caused the issues there on that on the third down for sure.
Just as a follow-up, what's kind of your mentality on throwing versus running in short yardage situations? I know on third and fourth and short, you guys have done a little bit of both this year.
It's all about just kind of based on what they do, what do we feel like we're going to be best at? What's, you know, I always want to tend to be aggressive that way too, but you want to be calculated with what you have. So I think it always kind of goes back to, you know, what do you feel like you can do best, but what's going to match up about what that defense is going to present in those situations. So yeah, in totality, we've been fairly balanced in terms of like third and fourth and shorts throughout the year, not just at the goal line, but just in general. And so I think that, you know, if you can do that, I think it makes it a little tougher on the defenses where they can't just hone in on one thing, you know, when you get in those short yardage situations, if that makes sense.
Hey, Garrett, on third down as a whole this season, and the struggles there, as y'all have sort of maybe self-evaluated the situations, is a common thread just the down and distance, like just too many 3rd and 6, 7 and longer, or I'm just curious for what you're...
Yeah, I mean, in general, you don't want to be in too many 3rd and longs for sure. I think anytime you're in the 3rd medium situation, you're going to feel, you know, pretty good about your chances. You know, I think for us as a goal, you don't want to be in really more than 4 third and longs if you can help it in a game, just from a percentage standpoint. So, like I said, I mean, we've got to continue to be aggressive there. We've got to just execute the simple things that have been there and just keep trusting that. And I think, if we do that here down the home stretch, we'll see a lot of improvement there for sure.
As you talk about execution, it just seems like that's kind of been a theme throughout the year, just in terms of the lack of consistency. I mean, how frustrating is that as a coach? Or are there ways you try to fix it? Or
Well, it's always frustrating for the players too, especially when it's simple execution, things that they know that they should execute. We have a drop or misread, or we just completely miss a block or whatever it is. It's frustrating for everybody. It's not just frustrating for the coaches. So, again, it always just comes back to like, hey, how can we move on? How can we just get better at this? If it's one chronic issue, then obviously we need to address that, right? I mean, if we're dropping balls all the time, then that's a chronic problem. That hasn't been the case all season long. That was just kind of the deal early in the first half the other day, especially on some critical downs. So, what can we emphasize? What can we hone it in and make it simple for our guys? But at the end of the day, we gotta execute. But they know that, and I have a lot of trust in them to do that. We just got to keep pressing on and stay the course.
Anyone else for Coach?
just one more about Adam Randall. I mean,
Yeah.
how rare is it, again, to have a guy who switches positions like that, and how natural do you feel like he is kind of at the spot at this point?
Well, I mean, it's incredible, really. I mean, I haven't been around a transition like that, especially of a guy that's his size. I mean, again, typically the experiences I've had, all the other places I've been, you've seen some kind of smaller scat back, slot receiver type people that move into the backfield and kind of do both. But very rare to get a 230-pound receiver to transition over and really become an every down type of back. So that's been just really incredible to see, and just his progress as we knew it would happen that way. I mean, he's just really gotten better and better as the year has gone on, and obviously more confident too, just actually doing it in game. So I still feel like the guy is just kind of scratching the surface in terms of the position, obviously. So a lot of belief in him, to finish the season well, but certainly a lot of belief for him, moving forward with the next chapter of his career. And like I said, I couldn't be more proud of that guy.
Coach Winnie mentioned, I guess, Tyler Bryant, he has had limited snaps over these past couple of games, and he said that he has to wait till Antonio Williams graduate for him to kind of dominate the slot. I guess, is there confidence in Tyler to play on the outside, or is it just we just prefer him specifically in the slot role?
I have confidence for Tyler anywhere. I mean, Tyler's a heck of a player. It's just always going to come out into decisions. If you move him out there, that means you're taking TJ Moore off the field. So, I mean, there's just always those decisions in terms of rotation and all that. But, yeah, I have a ton of confidence in number 6. I mean, that dude's a heck of a player. I think he's consistent the way he's approached everything coming off injury. So, he's got Antonio in front of him that has certainly played really, really, really well this season for us, and has been a productive guy, his whole career here. So, but to answer your question, yeah, I have a ton of confidence in Tyler no matter where he's at.
This is another random thing. When did you find out that Braden Jacobs had hurt himself? Just celebrating. What is that like as a coach to hear that?
I was walking off the sideline to go, shake hands with the Louisville coaches and all, and I see Braden on the ground, and I just was like, what's going on? So I mean, I saw him go down, and then obviously got the trainers over there to figure out what the deal was. But yeah, it's certainly not what you want to see after a victory formation, for sure.
Anybody else? All right, Coach.
All right,
Appreciate your time.
thanks, guys.